So, now we're going to go ahead and move on to our discussion. Now, as I mentioned before, our discussion is going to be arting. To be specific, let's go ahead and bring this up here. The art of art. Blah, that was terrible.
Looking
But,
good, blank, looking real good.
now, of course, the reason we're bringing this up is trifold. First off, I'm not exactly sure when the last time is that we had an art tutorial here on the show, and the fact is that some of our YouTubes keep getting blasted here and there because we're still working on getting things edited. We're probably going to end up moving our a large chunk of our archives, except for discussions, over to other sources, Vimeo probably, actually most likely Vimeo. Just a bunch of other things I could throw out there. Let's say a lot of different things. So, and today is actually the first day. The first day of the artist training ground over at Equestria Daily. Okay, yes, the show notes. I'll get those in chat too. I apologize. So
I can get that real quick.
no problem. I already took care of it.
All right.
So yes, the artist training ground is starting up this beginning this week for the next 30 days. I figured why not go ahead, do a refresher on tips and tricks that you can use to draw, as well as helpful hints, advice, all that fun stuff, and also give Blink a chance to flex his artery muscles. That doesn't sound right. Artistry. Let's just say artistry for the sake of sanity. Yeah, just flex his artistry for the sake of it all, and let you guys see, and just basically, oh, leave me alone. uh, he's never gonna let me live it down, is he?
Nope.
Unfortunately, I wish I could say we were finally divorcing livestream. I'm still working on trying to get that out of the way. We're just trying to spread out our archives so that we don't have to fight YouTube so much on our archives, and just leave it a little bit more simple and clean, so I can actually try to monetize our channel a little bit. But yeah,
Are you getting too many things?
there's a lot of crap going on. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this. So, as I mentioned, this is basically going to be a discussion of tips, tricks, and so on and so forth. If you are interested in entering the artist training ground, you can actually enter in at any point during the 30 days. You don't have to start from day one. However, just a warning to those that are watching on live stream, if they are interested but they haven't done anything for the first day yet, the first day unofficially ends in about 50 minutes.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you do want to get something submitted for the actual posting, I would recommend getting something in the next 50 minutes. Hopefully, you have that kind of art skills. Oh. But yes, any case, let's go ahead and get started. And best way to get started is to talk about, well, how to get started. Now, a lot of people, usually when they initially think about doing art, they usually take a look at other people's artwork and immediately get themselves well overwhelmed. You see, I'm not going to deny that. The one thing that every artist usually gets inspired by other people's artwork, but at the same time, they tend to get a little bit overwhelmed looking at other people's artwork. And some people have had months, years, maybe even a decade of experience. What do you mean live stream happened?
Hold on.
It's still going on my end. So
Yeah, it's still going on mine.
Huh?
So if the channel started with for you, refresh.
Yeah.
I can still fucking say.
I don't know what just happened.
Okay, so what he's trying to say, what he's trying to put simply is that, and I suffer from this immensely. I suffer from this all the time. The thing about trying to do art is you feel the biggest fucking hurdle is feeling like what can you contribute that might actually be of worth, what feels like it's worth viewing and looking at. That's always the biggest issue. What I've yet to learn myself, but it's the easiest thing in the world to realize, is love what you do because you're the one who did it. It is your hand that made it. I still haven't. I know this lesson. I know this lesson through and through. I still can't bring myself to believe in it fully because that's just me. I'm unfortunately flawed like that. But as an artist, as a maker, you have to love what you do because you're the one who made it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first and the biggest hurdle to get over. Because there's always going to be a bigger fish. There's someone out there who's better than fucking Slugbox. There's someone out there who's better than fucking Hoseiko as far as that's fucking believe. You know, there's always a bigger fish.
Why'd you bring up Slugbox?
Because it's fucking pony shit.
Well, fair
Like,
enough.
come on, that's where he used to have a lot of the fucking throwing shit. You know that was.
All right. Okay, sorry, it just kind of threw me off there for a bit there.
Just like, you know, saying artist names that people know, people have heard of, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I said, there's always the bigger fish. So find your spot in the pond and just make it your own. I haven't learned it yet myself, but that is simply the biggest question, answer to the biggest question of where you start. And kind of shit.
Yeah, and another thing is, if you do get this in a number of years and you see your old artwork, don't delete it. Keep it as a reminder of this is what you started out with and compare it to what you've done to see your progress. Not just go, oh, that was crap because I didn't know anything. Best delete it. No, keep it because it's one of your best tools.
Well, that and
You know,
okay. Well, let's start let's start rolling back here a little bit. Okay, first off, yes, the first thing is you have to own the art that you create. The second thing is you have to realize that you're not going to be great, especially if some of you may already be pretty decent artists, but yeah, you're not going to, it's not going to hold a candle to some of the bigger artists. It doesn't necessarily mean your art is bad either. And some of you may just be starting out or maybe even have no idea how to draw a straight line. That's no reason to also have shame towards it either.
Straight lines are overrated. First off.
Straight lines are overrated. Yes, you're not doing a geometry quest. You're not doing geometry. You're doing art. Art is seldom straight.
and again,
Anyway,
you could be like me and just use auto shapes and go from there.
in any case, well, let's go ahead and just my brain me think more brain gar why. Okay, so let's get started here. Well, the first thing
Would you
is.
well, first thing you're going to want to do is you want to shrink my stream so you can bring up your own little fucking pencil pad. Get to it.
Wait, what?
This is a tips. This is the tips. We got to show the tips work. Bring up your own fucking art program.
Oh, you're making me actually work? Okay, fine.
Yes, you're gonna fucking work.
All right. Give me a second here. Okay, so, yeah, we're gonna have to do this the art way. Ooh, that actually works out beautifully right there. I like that. Okay, let's see. We're just gonna grab a little bit of screen there. All right. Well, actually, the first thing we want to do right off the bat is actually talk about tools and utilities. Now, when you've decided that you do want to draw, you don't want to worry about having to draw with like this crazy template that you just that you want to buy. You don't want to. You don't have to spend $500 to get a template or templates. Draw pad. Yeah, I obviously
Tablet.
did. Tablet. Oh, jeez. You know, one of these days, I'm just gonna say screw it and just start playing videos for the rest of the show here.
Already did that once.
I know. And the more I try to articulate and actually try to sound smart and intelligent and useful, the more I swear I sound more stupid than ever. I mean, how does that work?
You're trying too hard.
I'm trying too hard.
You got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Shush. No, I do that joke enough in my side group. Shut up, you.
We hear that in general. We hear that too much in general. Okay, first thing, you need to know what you're going to be drawing with. Now, granted, a lot of people do digital art nowadays. It does not mean that doing normal, simple, physical pen and paper art is bad. Pencil, pen,
There's
and
nothing wrong
paper.
with traditional. There's nothing wrong with digital. Anybody who says the one way or the other sketchy is wrong. Do it how you feel like doing it.
Well,
Both are great. Both
he's
are
a better-
great in their own ways.
Well, he's a better traditional artist than either of us.
Well, he's a
Because
marker artist, which is even more talented, but a lot more
Well,
hard
no, not
work.
so much marker. He uses Prism markers and shit is what he uses.
yeah, but he sketches it out on actual pen and paper, then highlights the outline in black, and then colors
That's what I
in.
used to. That's what I used to do when I started. Before I, had a tablet or anything I could use or any digital programs. I used to use just pen and paper. I didn't use any
Wait,
any
that's not it.
markers because that just wasn't my thing.
And
I just had black and white and pencil shading on my drawings way back when I first started. Way back
Yeah,
when I first started. So I
and
have not
mine-
always been a traditional. I have not been digital. I started as traditional and now I am digital. But I still do traditional sketches every now and then, as Josh here can tell you, or
Yep.
Circa, whatever you want to go by in the stream.
Yeah, he does. He
As
does.
of late, I drew. Last time I drew a Nargacuga girl, a Barrioth girl, and a Lagombi girl because Monster Hunter bullshit.
Yeah, but yeah, drawing in traditional is not such a bad thing. Heck, I actually, when I was at work last week, I actually did a little bit of drawing in traditional just because we had the big boss coming in. I really couldn't do anything site surfing wise, so I just decided to draw. And actually, for one thing, it was kind of fun just to get some pen and paper in there. Another thing, I actually drew rather well. I got to get that sometime. So, but yeah, the first thing is you got to know, you got to decide on a medium that you want to work with, and then for a while you have to stick with it. Another thing that I will admit, I do this at times, but not with art, but other things. But a lot of people can be fickle. At times, they suddenly want to, they'll do an art with pencil, then they want to immediately go to pen because pen looks more stylish, and they want to do a calligraphy pen, and they want to do colored pencils, and then they want to do a big digital pad, and then they want to use this art program and that art program, and they haven't made anything yet. Or they haven't really focused and learned the styles yet. You got to choose something you're comfortable with and stick with it for a while. Just get used to it. Learn how to draw the curves. Learn how to move your arm around. Just because you keep switching up to greater and greater utilities or more quality ingredients is not the word, but more quality utensils and all of that stuff. Yeah, yeah, you could probably draw something great and it'll look fantastic, but you can't even draw a circle yet because you haven't practiced enough. In any case, after
even the greatest tool in the hands of a novice is nothing but a failed waste of time.
yada 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 yada. Right. In any case, moving along here because we don't want to get too preachy on this. We want to get preachy later. No. The next thing you want to do is have an idea of what you want to draw. In this case, the challenge for this week is a pony standing. I already drew one, but we'll go ahead and go with another just to make it simple. Now, with pony standing, it's a pretty simple process. Now, the problem is, some people may not know, how to draw a pony standing. Now, you can see right here, I already brought up a reference sheet. This is one that I was referring to when I was working on my sketch earlier today. Now, this may not work for some people. Admittedly, this thing is like 4 years old. But it doesn't mean that it's still not good. It still works really well for me.
The thing about references is it's in the name. If it's something that's useful for you at the time, but you don't know if you're going to use it again, or you might want to see if there's a backup, then keep it. I have a whole folder in my computer set for a bunch of references for poses, for weapons, for people, for various other things. I need to really practice on weapons more, but anyways. References are useful. Make use of them.
Not just references, but tutorials. A lot of people, there are a lot of artists. There are a lot of artists out there that know that there are budding artists that don't have a clue where to begin. And just to switch away from the art stream here for a brief moment, you saw the one tutorial I brought up. I actually did a Google search before starting up today. MLP art tutorial. The internet is littered with this stuff. There is plenty of stuff. You can find things from an excellent face to start off with, to just general shapes, how bitmaps and vectors work. Of course, bitmaps and vectors you may want to save off till later. You don't want to go too deep into that or else you're going to go crazy if you're new at this. There's also tutorials for specific genders, stallions, especially since, let's face it, most of the time, 90% of people in MLP are female. Stallions you don't get as many references, at least not until more recently. You also got pony heads face on. You got expressions. You got the way arms are moved, legs are moved. Skeletal structure. Skeletal structure is a big thing. Yes, you are drawing cartoons, but you need to have a base to go on. If I go immediately starting to draw a cartoon, okay, switching back over to this and this. So yeah, if I decide, you know what, I want to draw something silly and cartoony, and we're gonna make it all loopy and stuff. We're gonna go ahead and that's not a pencil.
Nope.
Huh? That's weird. Wait, this is.
But the basis is.
Hold on, I don't think
look
this is
for
a.
reference.
I don't think that was a side that I was using actually. Give me 1 second here, please.
And another thing, there are bases of like people who have done. All right, this is how it is in the show. I'll vector this and have it so I can go. All right, this is how I want the characters to look with, say, a group of friends. Use that as a way of seeing. All right, this is a blank. I don't have to focus on hair. I just have to focus on the body. Because
You heard
that's
that, Blake?
the
We just
tricky
got to focus on you.
It's always on me. The focus is always on Sweeter. Sorry.
I can't. Yeah. Huh. Okay. So yeah, you're thinking, okay, you know what? Let's draw something cartoony. We're gonna give him a big loopy head like this, and then we're gonna give him, you know what? Let's give him a really long neck. Oh, right there we go. And then we gotta give him a big round body. I want him to be
I'm
fat.
seeing a black screen on your particular side, boss. I don't think you switched over.
Yeah, which is really sad because I was actually making this look pretty decent right off the bat too. I don't know how I was doing that.
Oh, man.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah,
Move
Cole has a very good point.
Look at the pinky.
Some of his best things have been in what just comes out of his head.
Yeah. Actually,
And just
this gives
on
me a
off
good.
it.
This gives me a good thought. Tokoi, at the moment, I don't have the ability to really focus on the chat room and put it on the stream as well as streaming the 2 different art streams and everything. Would you be awesome enough to just keep an eye on the chat, throwing out the comments that the chat room is making and letting us know who's saying it and stuff?
Roger that, boss.
There you go. But yeah, move right along here. So we're going to give him a big old fat body because he's going to be a chubby boy. He's going to be big old chubby boy. Here come that chubby boy. Damn it.
Is that boy?
I'm getting really sick of side. Okay, yeah. So big old chubby boy right here. Gonna give him a big old round body. Then we got, you know what? He's got to have some big old strong legs here. So we're just gonna make him big old strong right here. Big old fat legs right there. Look, there he goes. And then here's another one right there. Just because we gotta have
B
2
has a
legs.
very good point. B, have your safe search on because Braben's tutorials, yeah, they're not safe for work.
Brayburn probably has some great tutorials, but yeah, definitely not something you would want to look at in public. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Whatever works for you.
Penis.
Anyways, we're gonna give him some big old stocky legs right here. There we go. That's some big old pony legs for a big old fat boy here. And you know what? Let's give him a mane right here, and there we go. And you know what? There's his head right here. Let's give him just a quick old ear. We're gonna give him some freaking hair. Wow, look at that! Look at that! It's looking great. And you know what? He's just a normal, good old pony, never doing no harm. Fedora! Not fedora. I don't know what that is. And you know what? There's that. That was actually not even. That is not even worth an attempt. There we go. There we go. Here's his eye. Oh. Big old... No, you know what? He's an angry guy. Look at that. Oh, he's got the shading, and he's got his super mark. Okay, and you know what? We're going to go ahead. We're going to give him a cutie mark right there. It's going to be the most awesome cutie mark right there. And, well, we can't forget the nose. No, that doesn't look right. He doesn't have a nose right there. Look at that.
Second, I want to say that you're drawing it as a completed other... out of your mind.
The sad thing is that still better than what Deal drew that one time.
You know what the sad...
Also,
No, the sad thing is it actually has some sort of... it's at least together. It's actually more atomically correct than I have drawn before, so I'm trying to make a horrible, goofy thing. It at least has some quality to it. I don't know. Okay, move. I can't believe I did manage to do that with the insanity here. But yes, the point is that you do have to have an idea of what you want to go with, and you got to work on structure. Yes, art, it can be animated, it can be loofy, goofy, silly, but you still have to know what you're going for and what it's going to look like. So we're going to go ahead and put this pony out of its misery, and we're going to use the big brush for this one. Ah, that was somewhat satisfying. So, yes, with any kind of art that you ever want to do out there, you want to make sure that you do a skeletal structure. So we're going to follow this anatomy here that I brought up. Again, go ahead, choose your own anatomy if you like. Now we can see right off the bat, you know what, I'm going to see if I can zoom this thing in. That's not zoom in, that's the other, there we go. Yeah, you can see right here that the simple body structure, one circle for a head, the same circle size for the head, for the legs, and about 2/3 of a head for the body. Simple, easy. So we're going to go ahead and go right for that. So we got one circle right here. And you also want to just take your time, do little strokes. You don't have to do a big circle right off the bat like that. No, no, no. Make it a sketching circle.
No, no, no.
No, no, no. But yeah, you just want to take it a little bit at a time. Little lines, little drawings, sketch it out. Does not have to be perfect and clean. This is also another reason why a lot of people like digital art, because you can layer this. This will be our first layer, our sketch layer. Simple lines, simple and clean. It's the way you're making me feel tonight. It's hard to let it go. Moving on.
Also, Cole, do not make Scootaloo out of a pony having chicken anatomy. And CMC, do not encourage it. Creature, what did I just say about CMC encouraging him?
Give him a minute. There is a stream delay there.
No, they already said this. I'm saying it after the fact. Because you don't know.
Well, I do have the chat room up on the side here a little bit. Boop the mat. Quickly boop the mat.
Alright, I'll boop CMC, boop.
Here's lesson number 1 for anybody. Fingers are hard. Or hands are hard.
You just gotta make a shovel and find out how to do the lines.
I don't know how to respond
Get
to
from
that.
somebody who has to draw a hand.
Actually, in your case, I could see that. Considering how your hands are. Just to be nice to Tokoi, don't take his advice too much to heart. No offense, but your hands look about the same every single time, and they're granted they're well-shaped hands, but they're always look the exact same way.
That's because unless I'm doing a pose with them, I'm not really changing them. I just have them in a little thing that I'm like, alright, I need a simple hand.
Alright.
Yeah.
But, okay, you can kind of see I'm starting to get the skeletal structure here. Now, on the corner, you can already see that Blank has already went past this. At one point, you're not going to need as much skeletal structure. You can already see that Blank already had some of the circles there. Yeah, you could see evidence of the circle around the head, the shoulder, the plot. But he also started to work on the outline of the pony itself. You can also see the legs there. The legs actually did have some skeletal structure going. Granted, it wasn't as detailed as some people go. It's just a simple line. The structure I'm going to go with, though, is more mechanical. You can see the pony on the right side here on the artist board that it has a little bit more structure to it. Looks a little bit more like parts and pieces of a machine. And also, Blanked is erasing as he goes. Granted, most of the time you probably want to do this on a layer unless you're very well experienced. Blank knows what the hell he's doing, so you can't get better. You can't get better. Don't judge yourself on other people. Also, that's one other important thing. You know, watch how other people work. It'll give you some ideas. Just don't judge yourself on them. That'd be like me judging myself on playing video games after watching a speedrunning event. That's just disaster waiting to happen. Anyway, so we got the basic structure there. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to go across the. We're going to make our little lines here to talk about the joint holds and all that stuff. So you got the head right here. Head connects down to the shoulder bone. Shoulder bone connects down to the ass bone.
Them bones, them bones.
Well, them bones. The only reason I even know that song is because of freaking Munsters. Go figure.
I know it from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Meet Frankenstein.
But yeah, the simple it's a once you actually learn the skeletal structure though, it actually helps when you're trying to move the ponies around, but you want to make sure that the angles actually look right. Because when you move a pony around, when you start having them walk, fly, move, or not even just a pony, anybody, anything, you have to know how it structurally is.
Side notation, real quick. If you're working with anything digital, you'll see here on my screen. If you're working with anything digital, save often.
Mm-hmm.
Save yourself some heartache.
Also, it helps a lot if you have your reference on the side and not right. Not where you have to kind of click back and forth, because I'm already noticing I
Love
goofed
two
up.
screens, people. If you have a dual screen setup, make the most of it.
Yep. Or in some cases, some art programs actually do have a separate window that you can use to put references on.
Oh yeah, no, there are some that you can actually just yank it apart and just you just put it there on the screen with it. But I prefer to have as much screen to my art as I can on at least on my tablet.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is my particular way of doing things.
Yeah, everybody has their own way of doing it. You'll develop yours. Okay, and let's see. Root bone's connected to the thigh bone.
I do not get why you guys are bringing up Bleach and Tumblr. They don't go together in my head.
Bleach and Tumblr?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I have no idea. But in any case, we'll move the feet down here a little bit more. As we mentioned before, the reference had it so that the at least one reference I'm looking at, which we're going to be following, the head is of the same area as the legs. So I am hand spotting this. I could be ridiculously perfect about this and making sure I get it right, but I'm visually hand spotting this. So
and CMC has another very good point. Sometimes it's better to open the ref in the art program on a different layer and use it as a roadmap and copy it as opposed to just having to switch back and forth between the two.
Actually, that brings up another good point right off the bat, and a lot of people do. I've heard this mentioned multiple times in both just people learning how to do art and also artists trying to tell people how to learn how to art. So a lot of people are always worried about copying other people's images. Now, that's not exactly a bad thing. I mean, a lot of we grab reference images in order to create our own images, for one thing. So art inspires art. It's not a bad thing to use a different reference image in order to get an idea of what you're trying to work with. Now, granted, yes, if you're copying something pixel for pixel and then making it saying that's your own, without giving any credit to anybody or just saying that it's just a trace over, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with that. There is a moral line there that you've crossed. But if you're using reference images or you're just tracing to learn the outlay, learn how to draw like particular angles, particular body structure, or just trying to get a feel in general, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with imitation.
As the old saying goes, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Well, sincerest, but fair enough. I'm pretty sure Blankta has imitated more than a few people at times.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Spoken from the horse's mouth.
I
Demon, but you're close.
Alright.
keep forgetting your lore aspect because it's never really brought up that much.
Alright. Now, as you can see right there, we already got the skeletal structure going on. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Now, of course, the next part is... That is not how an eraser works. I said... Ooh. There we go. Okay, so now we got this simple binary structure there. We're gonna go ahead and erase some of the random spazzle there. Now, of course, as he mentioned, you do want to save constantly. Some art programs actually do have autosaves, which you can use as well. Just make sure you have a computer that has a lot of hard drive space, because that can eat up quite a bit. But you definitely want to save for yourself. In my case, I'm not going to. Caution to the wind and all that. But we are going to go start doing another layer here. Now, of course, with the layer, we want to... Oh, there's the opacity. We're going to change the opacity. That helps. That way, when we start doing some more actual structure sketches here, we're going to take our time a little more. We're going to follow through a little bit more with how we want it to look. That's not how we want it to look. We actually want it to stop and then kind of edge out there. That's actually something I've been doing for a long time with my art. I've been curving it there, and it doesn't look all that bad because of the hair, but if I ever have a pony that doesn't have hair, yeah, that's not going to end well. And unfortunately, I made this pony's ass huge, so we're going to have to be careful about that too. You'll also notice some of the flaws you might have had with your initial skeletal structure. It's okay if you want to go off of it a little bit or change it around to be a little bit more correct. Now, as we're doing this, you can already see that Blank has already started working on the more fine lines. He's got the mane in there. He's erased all of the internal parts, so he's only got the base the actual outline of the pony done. The hair follicles, things like that, he's got little details in there to add to it, including the swirls in the mane. Some people add in the swirls, some people don't. That, in his case, he's adding them in. Of course, there's obviously still some things that he is still going to work on, such as the fact that the hair is literally over his eyes.
That's actually a particular thing. Some people like to have hair, some people don't like to have hair.
Oh, well, okay then. There's actually style choice, so I will stand corrected on that. That's a style choice. You can do that if you want. It's actually an anime choice too, so I've actually seen it. I should have thought about that for half a second before I started talking like I know what I was doing. But yes, as we're going, you always got to remember, keep going back to the reference. Do not neglect the reference. If you completely ignore it altogether, you'll find that you may end up going in a completely different direction than what you're expecting, or worse, you're going to find that your underbelly doesn't connect.
And real quick, for anybody wondering, I've drawn an older. It was going to be AJ, but let's not just do AJ, because that's always my default. So we went for an older Apple Bloom with a better cutie mark.
Yes, some people still have problems with that. I have accepted it and just went, alright.
I will never accept it, because acceptance is defeat!
I can't argue with that, but you know what? To each their own.
Yeah, no, to each their own, but still, Jesus freaking H. Christ! Where's Cthulhu? I need his help here.
I think in this case, you probably need the help of, damn it, Quibble Pants.
Yes.
Okay. So, more or less, in my case, this drawing is, in my case, this sketch is done.
Yeah, he's got the initial, actually, in his case, the sketch is done. A lot of people would just call that quits right there, and I don't blame him on that. That actually looks pretty good. Of course, he could also go a little bit further, going into a bolder outline or even coloring it. Now, when you start drawing, you don't have to start coloring it either. You could just continue working on sketches until it is time to color. Now, I am issuing a challenge to myself. A lot of you know that I'm already pretty decent at drawing as is. So what I'm probably going to end up doing this time around for the training alley is actually learning to outline in color, or at least outline a little bit deeper, and actually color the image and make it a little bit more digital arty instead of just black and white and kind of sketchy-ish. I must get rid of my sketching before it's too late.
Or you could be lucky and just went the way of, I'm going to do what I want and I'll learn as I go.
Alright, now we got an awesome little image here that I really, really wish we had at the beginning of the show.
For you are fiddle eating.
Yep.
Alright, hold on, give me 1 second. Creature was awesome enough to get the episode 230 image over to me here, and I really wish I had this for the beginning of the show. I just want to call that.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Banana Man.
By the way,
I'm not streaming anyways.
Straws is saying that never letting the copying prediction meme die.
And I think Coldust might have forgotten when our show actually starts. Long story.
No, he was in.
Yeah, he's asking me about something. I'm just like, I'm kind of streaming right now, man. Granted, it's something. Okay, yeah, I already feel like something's wrong with this leg here.
And will never end. Do you want a banana?
Banana Man, where have you gone, and why aren't you back?
I think he got banana poisoning.
No, not banana poisoning. That only affects 1 in every 1,000 Banana Man.
Okay, yeah, I can already... Yeah, see, this is what happens when I didn't keep referring to the sketch. You can already tell right now my haunch is way too high. I got amazing legs that would probably most people would die for. Unfortunately, I think this pony would die if I kept these legs.
Yeah, that's another thing. Whenever you do the outlines, you always try and do them in sections. Like you do the head, the neck, the upper back, lower back, the butt, then the haunches. Because you look at how Blank has it, if you start at where the back is and just do the butt, you already have the spot to start the haunches.
Just be sure to not let the image haunt you. Okay, I got it. Yeah, in some cases, you may have goofed up really badly. It's okay to erase too. Do you know how okay it is? I'm gonna have to erase this thing because I really butchered it. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. There goes our legs. Now, we don't got a whole lot of time left to art, unfortunately, so, yeah, this...
And I'm over here on mine just doing a little bit of small cleanups if I want.
And we're at least going to try to get the initial out frame done here. But yeah, along with this, in the show notes, we are going to have a couple of guides, suggestions, things like that to try to help out people who may also already be artists but looking to try to enhance their skills, or budding artists that need some help, advice, or even a challenge, or something to challenge themselves with in order to try to expand their horizons and draw different things. Because the one thing that can really hurt an artist, especially if you want to become a really all-around range artist, you maybe get a lot of commissions or a lot of people hire you for work, getting stuck on one thing is never good. Granted, I like ponies. I know I love ponies. I got a show about ponies. That's how much I love them. I love them a lot. Why do my... dear God, these haunches keep looking horrible. Why do I can't get... Because I'm making them too thin.
Lord, that is some spindly fucking legs.
I know, right?
Spindly fucking legs.
I know, right? It's
fucking legs!
Alright, but yes, the one problem with any artist is getting stuck in their area, in their rut. I mean,
getting stuck in a rut sucks.
I mean, yeah, they can still art like there's no tomorrow and draw ponies every single day without a problem, and it'll look beautiful every single time. I know, who doesn't love adorable ponies? I love adorable ponies too. I love them all the time. I love looking at ponies, but even I know that an artist sometimes has to expand their horizons. There'll be times they'll have to say, okay, you know what? Instead of just doing a pony, let's do an anthropony. Instead of doing an earth pony, let's do a Pegasus, or maybe even a bat pony. Or maybe instead of just doing ponies altogether, maybe I'll actually draw a human based off of a pony. Granted, you can still base them off of things here and there. You don't have to be stuck with just one specific type. You can expand just a little bit at a time but keep expanding. Maybe try drawing something a little bit different. Instead of drawing it in pencil sketch, do it in crayon. Do a digital art where it's completely psychedelic. Keep expanding your horizons. Keep going random. Keep doing different. You can always go back to what you know and what you're tried and true with, but at least you won't be able to do. Oh god, damn! These legs are killing me.
Hey, boss, look us down in the corner.
Look at that.
That is the first piece of fan art I ever did for the show, back when I wasn't even a host.
I remember that. You got the kitty mark wrong.
Of course, I got the fucking.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I took my fucking liberties with it.
I'm kidding. It's awesome though.
Can't say I didn't do the fucking title there right wrong though.
No, that is awesome. I feel like a beast. I feel like a beast machine with that thing right there. Look at that. Okay, yeah, and you are going to have your another thing with arting. You are going to have your sore spot. Legs have always been a big piece of Legs are has always been an issue with me. I'm not gonna lie. I've always had a problem with getting legs right. Always. But it just means it's something I gotta focus and work on.
Leg. But yeah.
Well, that's another reason why sometimes when you're in a fandom, you want to be something different just so you can go and try and draw something different as well. Well, because one reason why I always have a robot in this fandom is because I like drawing ponies, yes, but I want to always do something different for myself. Something that's me, not just I'm like everybody else.
That almost feels like a platform just to justify your robot.
Hey, I chose that as my OC for this fandom because, again, I did it because I said, I see a wolf, I see a deer, I see other things. Heck, I even see a cyborg that is basically a brain in the jar controlling a robot body. Why not just a pure robot?
Next week's challenge: Tokoi is a Minotaur robot.
You want to do a Minotaur cyborg of myself? Go for it.
Actually,
Hey,
no.
look, Mike, it's your fucking icon. I need to finish this fucking thing. I think it might work on that actually.
Wow, that does look awesome, though.
I think yeah, that's really fucking old though. I forget what I was doing with it too. I think I was just going to do like just a barrage of rockets going off behind him. I believe was what I was going to go with.
I know you would be a yak. Heck, at this point, yeah, I would go with a robotic yak as my thing. But that's between.
Hi.
You know what? Do it, Tokoi. Do it. You could be the first. Actually, I haven't seen any Yakosies at all, so you'd be the first.
Yay!
From Yakistan.
Yep. Those in Yakistan know what we do.
You know what? I think that's the best I'm going to make this leg at this point.
Leg!
Leggin! It's a leggin! Nah. Alright. So, yeah, we're running a little short on time. I ran a little bit long on news, which is heavily surprising considering how little there was this week. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and gotta make our second one. Another thing you always gotta remember is dimension. You know, if you really want to give your art a little 3D look, you have to make sure that you include the fact that, yes, it's a bipedal figure. It's going to have... No, it's a quadruped.
Yes.
But it's still going to have...
Bipedal.
It's going to have multiple appendages going out every which way. At least with the arms, I'm a little bit better. But then again, there's not much more to the arms. It's line, 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 line. At least if I want to make it ridiculously simple. If I want to have them bending and posing and all sorts of stuff, or flexing and showing off the awesome quads. You know, obviously I'm going to have to do things a little differently for that. So, yeah, we're just doing a little bit of an art there. Now... Yeah, I wish I could put a little bit more detail into this. This is going to be a little haphazard. Little trick I learned from Draw Ponies of all people. Do a cross on the head. At the line on the right side, you start your ear. And if you curve it just right, you right in the middle of the ear area. Usually, it's also where you would have an eighth line. If you put it there, you just put in a little arch. There you got your ear. If you got a unicorn, horn would actually go over this way as well. You just bring it over here. You can extend this out to try to get a better shape of the horn. Horns I actually finally got a little bit better on. I figured out where one of my big problems were with the horn. That was just because every time I was coming down here, I would make it a giant loop. Which, yeah, that doesn't work well that doesn't look right on unicorn horns, no. I'm just do a slight curvature. Just the slightest curve. And also a few lines for measurement. Now the nose, that's also where the line comes in here. You would start to curve it around the forehead, bring it out to where the nose would meet the line out here, and then you just curve it down. Granted, I think I got the line a little bit too high there, or I didn't make the nose long enough. I'm not sure which.
Column A, column B, you need to bring it down and push it out a little bit more, especially if you're doing the stallion.
No, I just going with the female because stallion actually tends to be a little bit more annoying at times. So yeah, we're going with a girl pony this time around just to make things a little easier. But yeah, stallions have more blockier noses at times. They do tend to be out a little bit further, and somehow you can never get them to look right.
Actually, if you just put like a square and curve the front edge of it and then do the normal jawline, it comes out pretty well. That's how I first started doing it. Then I just went, all right, do a little bit of straight line, then curve.
Of course, the eyes got to be ridiculously huge. No. Eyes, you basically do 1/2 circle on one line, 1/2 circle on the other. Well, more ovalish, really, not just circle. And you got your eye there, and there we go. Very basic. It's incredibly basic right there, but yeah, from there you can easily start shaping it however you want to. Ow.
Still seems a bit short.
I know, but in all honesty, it would probably look a little bit better once I start erasing some of the lines.
Well, no, a good trick you can do is, this is a lovely little trick you can do because, fucking digital art, is you could use the, I'm trying to think of the actual name for it, lasso, and use it to grab the hind section, pull it back a little bit, and then connect the lines. It'll look a little bit better to the letter.
Oh, I see what you mean by short. Didn't do that right. Okay, just
Yeah,
because.
Yep.
I didn't.
There you go.
Didn't segment off the haunch there. Yeah. All right. Oh wait, no, it's still I can draw here. I don't. No.
Button, real quick on the side. This is just a little thing. This isn't an actual arting thing. It's just him doing a little sketch to follow along with, things that I'm doing. Yada 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 yada.
Yeah, we got one person that's more well trained in arting, and we got me that I have a pretty decent grasp, but yeah.
And second, I just sent you my submission for the first day.
Alright, unfortunately Okay, now I have no clue what in the world this is doing. Okay.
What's going on?
I'm trying to get back to drawing the lines here real fast, but it's... After I push out the points, I don't know how to get back to the actual drawing.
Hit Control D.
Control B?
Control D.
Control D.
D?
As in deals. Slick deals.
You had to go to that?
Did you go that far?
Could have just said
you can draw, because what happens whenever you use the lasso tool or the wand or anything is that it makes a selection. You can only draw or do anything in that particular selection. So you have to either re-click or hit just Control D so it drops it.
And also let's fix the face here a little bit. All right, little smile, little nose. Of course, it still looks terrible with the line art there, so we remove that. You can see it looks a little bit more decent. Now, of course, yeah, you can see that we got the two different. Yeah, you got two different styles here. Of course, you got the beginner and you got the more advanced artist here. Now, as we mentioned, there are several different tools that you can use to do this, to learn how to draw. Not only that, but to try different techniques, different abilities, things like that. And I strongly encourage you to give it a shot. Actually, even if it's just for a hobby, drawing is actually pretty fun, and in some ways, it can get some of your maybe passion out, or you always think, you know what, somebody really should draw this. You can draw this. You can make it into reality. So we're going to go ahead and back off. We're going to get off of this here because we finished the art. And of course, we're going to move Blanked out of the way here now. By the way, Blank, thank you very much for helping out with this. Or did he already run away?
So no, I'm here. I had to fucking pause the music. I was getting copyright hit here, you know.
Oh no, go for it. Go right ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. No, I know you want to see more art. I know you want to see more art, but I am. Unfortunately, we do got to finish up the rest of the show. We are still going to have. We're going to be doing art for the for Artist Training Alley every single day. If you want to follow up on that, make sure you keep an eye out on both our Twitter and our Steam. I will be announcing every time I'm going to be going online to do art. It is going to be before shows, between shows, after shows.
Maybe, just maybe, it might be a dual stream again, depending on days I don't work. I might draw with him. And if you want, I'll send you this particular picture, boss. So if you want to just throw it on there for the hell of it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Go for it.
But yeah, I might draw with him. We'll see what happens.
All right. But I do feel bad for Button. He comes in and he wants to see more art, but we are to do tutorials on
I might
that.
keep doodling on my end of the stream if you want to drop it in there, but I cannot guarantee it's going to stay on Pony, and I cannot guarantee it's going to stay safe for work. Because
That's how he draws. Yeah. Blank doesn't draw. Yeah, Blank does not draw just Pony. He draws a lot of different things, and of course, some of those
usually
things.
female.
Some of those things are usually female, and some of those females are atomically correct, and you can prove it.
Yeah.
That's,
A particular picture you showed on stream by accident back.
we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. Right. But yeah, so that's what Blank does. If you want to continue watching him do that, if he continues to do that, go right ahead. Of course, we're still going to go on with the show here. Of course, I got to stop talking here for a little bit soon, so we'll get to the episode in just a moment. As I mentioned, if you need to find some great drawing guides, just Google MLP art tutorial or Pony art tutorial, anything. You'd be surprised how many different things are there. And we are going to include a few things in our show notes. Show notes will contain this drawing guide that I was working with. Along with that, it also has the tutorial codex from Equestria Daily. Now, the reason I didn't immediately bring this up, this was made back in... Oh, this was updated about 4 days ago. Never mind, it's been updated. So yeah, it has art guides and websites that you can go to, and they have been checked out, so all of them are working at this point. So you can check out all of these different links and codexes. There's a sloth. There's a whole load of information out there. And for those of you who do want a bit of a challenge or want to try different things for arting, I was brought this to my attention. The Pony Randomizer Challenge. Now you can see that all of these are going around quite rapidly. This actually allows somebody to just take a quick screenshot, and then you can easily put this into any paint program that you have. I'll probably bring up Psy here real fast just to drag it out. Oh, come on, really? Or do I have to drag it? Oh. Stupid. Okay, give me 1 second here, please. Because I know I got both screens there. Dang it. Nothing ever works the way you want it to. Rule number one in life. Okay, so yeah, you could easily bring it into a paint program, and or anything that lets you image. There you go. You can actually get a completely random image to draw and go for it. So you can see I got a pony with that kind of hairstyle, that kind of a color palette, mute, with a childish face, and this is starting to sound an awful lot like a unicorn version of freaking Flufflepuff. Maybe we'll call her Toots. Toots.
Pekka is getting a sister.
There you go.